Are you tired of feeling run down and exhausted? In our fast-paced world, we're often surrounded by toxins that impact our well-being. I provide holistic solutions designed to detoxify your body and environment. With cutting-edge AO voice scan technology, we identify the root causes of your discomfort or dis-ease, making personalized healing easier than ever. Start your transformative journey towards a healthier, toxin-free life, because at White Sands Self-Care, your well-being is our priority. Well, welcome everyone to another Mindful Monday. Now, get ready to elevate your leadership game, because this week we are thrilled to welcome the remarkable, honorable Dr. Saskia Christian. She's a true force of transforming burnout into breakthrough. With over 18 years of experience blending engineering prowess with the executive insight, Saskia is not just a strategist, but she is a resilience expert whose mission is to equip leaders like you with the tools to thrive, even in the most challenging environments. As the founder of BoostThru, Saskia has mastered the art of combining human sustainability with leadership performance. She believes that the right mindset and actionable strategies, corporate pressures, can be converted into powerful opportunities for growth. So please welcome the Honorable Dr. Saskia Christian. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. It's just an honor to be here on your platform. How are you today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am excellent.
Good. Beautiful as always. Every time I see you, you're just always in such bright colors. So I always loved your energy.
Oh, thank you.
So can you start by sharing with everyone was there a pivotal moment in your journey, or what your journey was like, and how that inspired you to become a leadership strategist and a resilience expert?
Oh, wow. I'll try and condense that story, but it really started from my corporate journey. So after roughly 18 years in the high-tech sector, I basically left. I had a job loss, and that actually catapulted me into purpose. So at that time, of course, I was very much confused. I had no idea really, where do I go from here. I felt as though my identity was lost in that transition. And I knew there were obviously other people who were going through that at the same time. And I was called really to be an encouraging voice during that difficult time for the entire company. So I knew with a red carpet exit, so I knew at that time that there was really a lot writing on my destiny and my calling, and I'm called for greater. And so with that, I got all the tools. I thought of tools really that can really help, the coping mechanisms, the resources, the strategies that can help professionals deal with the emotional distress that's just been such a burden to them. And because of the focus that they had on their technical and performance, metrics, deliverables, and all those things, and they put themselves second. So as a chemical engineer, I thought of, an amazing crisis coaching app and courses through BoostThru and the name BoostThru to be able to boost them those boundaries and be able to have just an amazing life without limitations. So that's really been the journey. I've, become an international best-selling author 4 times, 7+ anthologies, all resilience-based literature, really just pouring out really what the environment requires at this time. And boy, did I see my whole career completely evolve. Amazing people I met during that time, and I was like, wow, this is indeed a dream, because I was actually called for this. I'm actually walking in purpose, walking in alignment with what I'm supposed to do on this earth. And it felt so good.
I know. I always say when people are doing what they're meant to do, you can just see them light up, and you can tell. And like you said, you found your purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
A red carpet exit. That's not a term I've ever heard before.
Or a job loss, yeah.
For a job loss, to have a red carpet exit. So Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely forget the pain during that time because you realize that it's bigger than you. So that's what that moment taught me. It's like, yes, it's not like I suppressed the pain. I need that space really to deal with my emotional turmoil. But at the same time, in dealing with that, that was actually a gift, by the environment. People saw me as an uplifting, encouraging source and voice. And so I was called for greater. So I really put aside what I was dealing with for the benefit of the community of workers who were going through, whether they stayed at the job or not, right?
Right.
They're
Mhm.
all needing that type of encouraging, positive voice. So that's what I was. I served it, and it really did serve me well when I did end up on the other side. So really, everybody's like, "Oh wow, what she's gonna be doing?" It was already planned, and they saw that solution. I say I'm always a prime example of global resilience ambassadorship, right? That is the whole point of my journey. And since then, it's beautiful. I recently, in terms of BoostThru, getting a BoostThru partnership with global companies, GSFEN, and all those things, and just to really show professionals that they're called for ethical leadership, right? And they're
Mhm.
called for more than just the academics, right? They're global citizens, responsible global citizens, and they need to be equipped as such, right? And
Right.
so,
I was
yeah,
just gonna ask you what the GBS was it
yeah,
GBSCN
yeah,
and what it stands for?
yeah, GSFEN, which I'm now operating as a strategic advisor for the GSFEN community and a founder. And so it's that also has really pushed me out of my comfort zone. But it was really fulfilling in terms of nominating professionals here, particularly mostly within the United States, for honorary doctorates and nominating them as ambassadors, global citizens for, in pursuit of SDG, Sustainable Development, UN Sustainable Development Goals. And then recently, like I didn't have enough on my plate.
It's amazing how we attract that when you start to get going and you think, "Oh, I've got it done," and
Yes,
then
it's so
something else comes
exciting.
and it's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I know you have an amazing background, so you must definitely identify with this.
I
And
do.
so being I recently was appointed COO, Chief Operating Officer for Engineering Women. So getting back to the technical leadership. So I'm like, this is really an interesting journey. I thought pretty much I was going to put that aside and just focus because I'm a certified trauma and resilience life coach,
Mhm.
right? I took the time to do that because of the personal and professional trauma that I've experienced on this journey. And so, nope, apparently I was called to do both. And so, yeah, so Engineering Women is the perfect platform for that because it's a technology and wellness, inspired initiative and company led by an amazing woman, Jamie Alexander. And so I get the privilege of working with literally, she's a global icon
Right,
in the
right.
making. And then being VP of Accelerated Services for Sanpete Financial Group and just introducing the founder, just really introducing the founder ecosystem in Arizona and beyond to capital strategy and just really helping drive innovation. So that's me in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, yeah. And I was gonna say it doesn't even seem like you had any challenges, but I'm assuming you had some big there had to be some big challenges, I would think, that you faced when you transitioned from engineering to executive leadership?
Major challenges. It was like, really, what do I do next? Like I felt so emotionally paralyzed because all the time, think about it, you're with a particular company for almost 2 decades,
Mhm.
and then that was literally pulled from you, right? And everybody's like, okay, continue on and do on. I was like, continue and do what? Exactly. What exactly am I supposed to do? There was a time when I was even just before actually I left the company, I was thinking, what am I called to do? What's in my hand? And that's the day that BoostThru and the app and the whole concept of BoostThru came to me. That was literally from the heavenlies and said, this is what you're called to do to encourage these professionals because that particular sector has been suffering and you basically was you were suffering along with them, and so it's time you're taken out of the suffering for a particular purpose, to bring others with you. Everybody, every professional has a responsibility to bring others with them when they elevate. It is very selfish
Yeah.
to not do that. It's a responsibility to society to bring up others. What you
I
like,
love that. I love that perspective.
yes, exactly. What you like for yourself, do for others.
Hmm.
Simple. Leave a mark that you will be proud of. Like people will be, oh my gosh, they wouldn't forget you. Leave that indelible mark when you do stuff like that. Start small. It doesn't have to be anything big, like say what I'm doing or whatever, right? Just start small. Just understand that I can be you, you can be me. There's a unique marking, right? When you show up,
Right.
show up in excellence, show up with that signature and make that global imprint. It's a responsibility. And when people start thinking like that, then you can imagine how this world is so transformed. Men, women, and child, everyone will be bringing up with us.
Oh, absolutely. I wish more people would have that perspective. Yeah. How
Yeah.
would you say all of that changed? How did that shape your perspective on resilience?
Wow. Well, I thought before resilience was just really dealing with the struggles and trying to overcome, the adversities and the challenges and so. But in dealing with that and having that kind of a fairy tale Cinderella story,
Hmm.
what I realized is resilience is really finding the power within the hardship. And so that's where I came up with the anthology line, The Power Within, right? And
Right.
a series of books about my journey because I have a very intricate journey. And, first one was really about my corporate experience, corporate transition to entrepreneurial life. How was that really? How did I find my strength, right? And not only that, encouraging and inviting phenomenal, resilient women to share their stories of transformation and resilience. What an excellent opportunity. Those stories that would be buried, really, if it wasn't for that platform to be able to air it and encourage the world and leave that legacy,
Yeah.
that lasting legacy. So that's really my gift, another gift to the world for all those who suffered, whether it's loss of, mostly corporate job loss or anything like that, that you have an opportunity to rise above. There's something with BoostThru that says, rise above, heal within, and shine beyond.
And I would say not even just job loss, but people that are there because they feel like they're stuck because they don't know where else to go and they're afraid to lose that security or the income that they always have. But I think it's always kind of like a false security because, as you can say, as you prove, you never know when tomorrow you may not have that job,
It can
and
be
it,
pulled
and it can
before
pull.
exactly. So literally, if you're gonna take a move, just make a move. Be prepared. Be prepared while you're in there. That's what I always say. Be prepared every day. Do a little bit. Actually, would that have helped if I was probably a little bit more prepared? Oh yeah, it would have helped a lot, right? I still
Yeah.
consider myself, even though it's been very, hard for me in terms of making that transition, I still consider myself to be one of those who are just really just blessed to have the resources and support of my family, right? My husband, son,
Mhm.
and everyone to really live through that. It's been a nightmare. And having to come out on the other side and see, wow, look at the opportunities that were waiting on me. So imagine you have this door, you're facing this life of misery, right?
Right.
You have this door that is sprung wide open for you. And the minute you make the active choice, you made an intentional choice to really choose yourself, choose life, and choose yourself. And the minute that took off, like in my brain, I knew that I was going to win.
Yeah. No, definitely, definitely words to live by. I always think people should have, like, whether you want to call it a side hustle or a plan B.
Yeah.
Even if you enjoy your job, I don't think it's bad to have something on the side or think about other possibilities because like we said, you never know when that is not going to be there anymore.
Yes, exactly. And everybody is a creative. I want to make sure that the audience hearing this today, everybody is a creative genius and visionary. We're not all called to do the same thing. Okay? Your ideas are not mine. My ideas are not yours. Okay? Be comfortable with what you're given. Ask for more. In my case, I ask God for more and He gives me more. Right? Treat others with respect, humility, right? But
Right.
show up in love and in kindness, and great things shall happen for you as well.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. You will get your turn. I was wondering lots of time, when will be my turn? When will be my turn? Because of the adversity is one after the other after the other, right? And I was like, what is wrong with me? What is different about me? Why am I feeling as though like I'm being targeted in some way when I'm not doing anything in my mind to be targeted? That is a very uncomfortable place to be. And you have no other choice, no other choice but to rise above in that particular. You choose life or you choose death. Which one do you want to go?
Right.
That's the tough choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing how easy we can spiral into the whole pity party instead of saying,
Yeah.
"Nope, there's a lesson here," or "Nope, this is happening because there's another opportunity waiting for me." We don't always look at it like there's an opportunity, but normally when things happen like that, there is an opportunity. You just have
Yeah.
to look for it.
Yes. Others were telling me that, but I couldn't see the opportunity.
Right.
I in the beginning, I was like, what are you talking about? You have your job, right? You were telling me the opportunity, but then I realized, hey, I am sort of like a guinea pig. So if I don't jump and do X, Y, and Z, the whole world is there waiting on me. You better get on it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just how it is. But it's a beautiful life. It's an amazing life. And, it's really how you perceive things. Mindset transformation is really key, right? The internal work. I had to go through a lot of that. I had amazing coaches, here locally and not here, nationally and even internationally.
Mhm.
Give credit to lots of people who supported me in the downtime. And so, boy, did they see an evolution. We're all shocked by it, right? But
Yeah,
it's just that others, I always say, it's not about me saying, oh, I have done this. Nonsense. I've never been that person. It's really, what can you do now that you see this and you know that it is possible? That
yep,
it's possible, right? When you believe, now what can you do in your life?
absolutely. Yeah, it's always amazing because sometimes we go through and it's like, because it's not about us, it's about others and stuff, and sometimes we don't even realize how much we've evolved or changed until, other people, like, start pointing it other people start pointing it out because it's like, just it kind
Yeah,
of grows.
exactly. When you're caught up in a chain cycle, really, it's hard to really look within and see what's going on. You just really like, oh wow, okay, am I here? All right. That's how it was. It's like if you put me on like a roller coaster ride or something at Disney, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You don't have much time to respond really to anything. It's just like, oh, this is the change. Okay, all right, fine. This is what happens. But great things come out of it, and it's just wonderful. It's the people. It's really about the people that who I had the opportunity to interact with, and I just realized that network is everything in building resilience strategically, right? As you
Right.
help one person, you help another, you interact with others. So much. Network is better than money. It is
Yes.
so valuable, right? It's not something you can just work overnight. It's a conscious building day by day in terms of relationships. Relationships is everything. I have people who I can call and know for sure that they will pick up the phone and they will answer me because they know who I am,
Mhm.
what I'm about, and I highly respect them.
Yeah.
Respect is everything. Respect is really what opened the doors, the magnificent doors for me. Lots of people, I had no idea who they are, they had no idea who I am, but it's how I showed up in respect. And I say, no, I will give you the time. And doors open, platforms opened for me. And that's just how the story evolved. And everybody needs to take advantage of the opportunity to tell the story. I would say with the book anthology, claim your chapter today. If you're a resilient woman sitting on the sidelines, regardless of whichever country you are, it is your moment to shine and to give back, to give encouragement to this world. This world desperately needs encouragement.
Yes, it does.
You don't need to be caught up in this whole political, all this stuff. I understand everybody has their political different opinions and those things. Highly respect that. But please, there's a time when we have to set that aside and focus on what we're here to do, what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I love is with your the boost through, you focus specifically on like the intersection of human sustainability and leadership performance. What motivated you to do that?
So I think sustainable leadership is really you being able to really sustain mentally and emotionally. Sorry, but I'm losing my voice.
It's okay.
And so being a global resilience ambassador, it's all about the mindset. And if your emotions are not right and you don't have that emotional healing, you cannot be a sustainable leader. You cannot be excellent. So you really have to be in a space where you work on you,
Hmm.
work on you. You'll be able to encourage others to do the same. And they'll see that model and that example in you. And they will choose wellness, holistic wellness. I mean, is really that's the big thing, you know? It
Absolutely.
all starts with the mind, right? Resilience have different components, right? But mindset is the fuel of sustainable leadership and sustainable performance. And it's a progress. Give yourself grace, right? Resilience and sustainable leadership is a journey, right? It's not like you just show up and automatically it's like, hey, I'm here, I've arrived. No, you have to intentionally put in the work regardless of what comes your way. Have there been a lot of great things my way that came my way? Of course, absolutely. But I notice when they did come, right, there's always a solution to meet the challenge in some creative way. I always say that I really do rely on my protection from above. And so that's just how it goes in my life. And I know that we all have, you know, different ways of dealing with things. But once you stay positive, right, you start the
Right.
morning off really, really well with some gratitude. Gratitude, irrespective of which religion, if you're religious or not. Gratitude helps to ground you emotionally. Gratitude gives you perspective, right?
Yes.
Gratitude is a key ingredient in resilience. So that's how you show up. You start your day, it sets the pace for the rest of the day, beginning of the day, end of the day. And that is sustainable leadership, mindset transformation work, gratitude.
Absolutely. Do you have a set routine or anything that you do, or I don't necessarily want to call it routine, but do you have a set a what is your how do you keep your self-care, your mindfulness? What is it that you do? Do you do something every morning to get your
Yeah.
start your day off?
Yeah, so I definitely do rely on prayer and meditation, and lots of the time I always say that I take our son to school, and so in doing that I have that prayer time with him. Not in the car. I can't drive and pray, right? I'm
Might be a
just
little hard.
yes, I know, but I tell him, well, you close your eyes and we'll pray
Right.
that way. And so it's important to be, really, just to get geared up in the right frame of mind for the day, right? And that's where self love, loving yourself and understanding that you are loved, it starts there. And nobody can really do that for you. That's the work, the intentional work that you have to do for yourself in from the mornings from the get goes. And it really does help in terms of how the day, proceeds after that. I found so very instrumental. When I start off really, really on a high, it's amazing. There are no limitations with the day, right? That is before me.
Right. Yeah, I know when I don't get to do mine or do all the ones that I do, my whole day just kind of seems to be off.
Exactly, exactly. And you're upset with everybody, you're just literally angry with the whole world. Takes a toll. Whether it's physical workout and stuff that you do, but that mindset work, it has to be at the beginning of the day from the time that you rise. Show gratitude for your family, what you have, because if you don't show gratitude, you will lose it.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely. Can you describe your approach to transforming like burnout into breakthrough for leaders and teams?
Mm. So I would definitely say burnout and stress, again, it has to do with self-awareness, right? Being aware of who you are, what you are called to do, right? What and having those in self-awareness, you have those boundaries, what you like, what you don't like, and those things, and dealing with the self-healing, right? Again, all about perspective, right? In terms of seeing challenges for the positivity in the challenge as opposed to dwelling on the negativity, right? Looking for positive outcomes out of those experiences, right? That's
Right.
really what all it has in terms of dealing with stress and burnout. Or that you'll be in a negative space your entire time and you wouldn't experience a breakthrough, right? So that's pivotal to move from burnout to really triumph, right? I say from moving from survival, just coping barely, to sustainable, you use that word, sustainable breakthrough. I don't want a breakthrough for just 2 days.
Yeah,
I want a breakthrough for a lifetime. Everyone deserves a breakthrough for a lifetime.
absolutely.
Okay? So that is just absolutely amazing, and your whole life is on a different level when you do have that. But everything starts from the self work and the respect, not only the emotional healing that you have to do, but the respect that you command from the environment. Because if you love and you respect yourself, then you will command it from the environment. And that's exactly what I had to learn. Because lots of the times I had the environment basically dictating whether I should be respected or not. And that's not the way.
Yeah.
So
So how do you define burnout? Because I know there's a lot of people that are like in jobs and they don't realize sometimes that they are experiencing burnout. What
yes,
are
yeah,
what are some of the symptoms and stuff that you've noticed
yeah.
in people?
So definitely it's just more of a just an emotional fatigue, distress, no matter what you're feeling, whether it's, heart pacing, just feeling just tired all of the time. And I've had that as an engineer, right? Where you can't really just shake it. Even if you go to an event or something and you come back, you think it's gonna help. No, because that stress is literally upon you because you've been operating or walking in that kind of like a hardship mode all the time for a long time. So it will take a while, right? Your body's accustomed to the surge of cocktail hormones, right?
Right.
And all those things. So you're literally on that high all the time, just being so destructive, and then it becomes physical illness, you know, over time. So that's how I realized I was tied to, like I even spoke, I gave a speech on this and a leadership experience store where, I was tied to a pager my earlier career, I had to walk around in literally in a bunny suit every day. And
I
then
remember those days.
yeah, well, you do. We had similar paths.
Mhm.
So with the pager tied to like literally under my pillow, what kind of life is that? What
Yeah.
kind of life? I missed out on all those years. But did it prepare me for the future here right now that I'm experiencing? Absolutely did. Am I more grateful for this experience now? Oh, yes, I am. Right? And
Right.
so if I didn't have that, maybe I wouldn't be grateful. Right? We say you put in the time or whatever, and it's called growth. But it was painful, painful growth. But you see, when you go through, it's like a diamond, you go through pressure, right? It's amazing how beautiful it comes out and you come out on the other side. And that's what burnout allows. Once you get that intervention, you take care of you get the right help with the professionals. We have lots of amazing therapists and trauma resilience coaches like myself, who are not necessarily therapists and can diagnose anything, but they're there to help you with those coping and regulatory, emotional regulatory mechanisms to be able to deal with your burnout, those breathing, exercise and all those things that you need to get through another day. That's really how you move,
Right.
heal from stress and burnout to breakthrough, sustainable breakthrough.
Yeah. And I think breakthrough's the good part because a lot of us we keep trying to like stuff it down and put it aside, but if you don't deal with it, it still is manifesting in your body into those pains and illnesses and everything else.
Absolutely, absolutely. Something you have to pay. You definitely have to pay attention. And again, everything starts with the environment. If you're in an environment where everybody around you is just as stressed and tired, you're not going to get the help that you need.
No.
Don't even kid yourself, right? You have to speak to professionals. I always encourage professionals if you work in a particular sector or what have you, right? Environment where people are just all time at an all time stress. That's what they're operating on an all time stressful mode, right? You can't
Right.
seek advice and counsel from them. Clearly, they need help, right?
No, that would
They
just
need
that just goes with the pity
you.
pool.
Exactly. That's a
Yeah.
pity party. That's not going to be helping you with anything. That certainly didn't help me.
Right.
Okay. So it's not like, oh, the brave one or whatever. I understand that their jobs, people have to do 9 to 5 jobs and so forth to be able to pay their bills and those things. But at the same time, your body damage, that's irreparable damage,
Yeah.
right? Lots of times. And so you have a responsibility to yourself. And I had to learn. It's like not like, oh, it's not like you get a badge of honor for wearing yourself thin. Okay, I've
Yeah.
had to learn that. I was one of those working, just endlessly, not a particular break. You know, and as you get older, it tells on your whole body structure. Um, your demeanor and everything. You're just not even kind to yourself or kind to anybody around you. Destructive, self-destructive mode that we need to get out. So we need to have more of that in the corporate community, in my mind. More strategies, emotional regulation strategies. I myself need to write more about that. Those things, tapping on whatever that can help people to really regulate when they're in stressful situations so they can keep on top of things so they can actually work longer and healthier.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I know you're like the resilience queen. So, what common misconceptions do leaders have about resilience and how can they shift their mindset?
Yeah, so it's more like, if you um, experience resilience being like a bounce, a bounce back, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's bounce forward,
Yeah.
right?
Or as
And
I always say, fail forward.
yes, it is, repeatedly you fail forward, right?
Mhm.
It's nothing like, failure in when coming to resilience. Again, it's a process. You give yourself grace, right? And that's not a lot of people, they don't do a lot of that. I didn't do a lot. I didn't give myself grace at all. And then I realized that's the winning formula. So it's really, again, it's a process. It's not a one size fits all. It's a myth as well. Everybody, everybody, goes at their own pace and heal at their own pace. It's not a competition. Never was.
Yeah.
Never was. Okay, it's really how do you feel? It's respective to you. I've designed resilience baseline methodologies we for professionals to really gauge how they're doing with emotional and mental resilience and all those things, especially after coming out of my virtual workshops, out of my courses, my online courses that I developed really on how to cope with the day-to-day stresses to be on top of the journey,
Right.
right? And so, yes, it's a gauge. We do have that, and it's not. It's definitely not a, one time and oh yes, I'm resilient now. No, it doesn't
It's not like it's not like a switch you flip. Yeah.
exactly. It's not. It's definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself.
Now you specialize in trauma informed resilience training, right?
Yeah, so definitely that's really the key.
Yeah. How would you say that differs from traditional leadership training?
Well, I would definitely say trauma, when you show up trauma informed, right? When a professional shows up as a trauma informed coach or professional, they are really understanding where the person was at and what they need at that particular point in time. So they wouldn't necessarily go through things like really how to coach them to move from their state of being to their ideal state of being without regulating,
Right.
right? Having regulating mechanisms, um, giving them those tools so they can go through that emotional regulation in order to receive the good counsel, right? That you're giving them to move from one point of the journey to where they would like to be. So
Hmm.
that's how I see trauma informed, because every one of us, believe it or not, have some form of trauma, whether we want to admit it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, trauma is something different for everybody. I just normally when people hear the word trauma, they just think of something like catastrophic, but it doesn't
Yeah,
always have to
car
be.
accident or something like that. Yeah, that's what I've found. In really paying attention, that's people's definition, which is so, when they're taken aback when I said, I had to really deal with personal and professional trauma like none other, one event after another, whether it's illness or whether it's my dad going missing for several years, or whether it's professional trauma on the job, dealing with so many, so much stressful events, all sometimes all at once, right?
Yeah.
That is like a cocktail of trauma that will impact you for the rest of your life if you don't choose to live and you don't have the right tools and insights, right? Really supporting you on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're an advocate for inclusive leadership. What steps can organizations take to ensure diverse voices are heard and valued in decision making processes?
Wow, that's an interesting one. Yeah, so inclusive leadership to me, it's just really everyone coming together with their thought leadership, their unique thought leadership to bring success and profitability in overall just well-being in the environment. So we accept the thoughts and everything, the contributions from everyone, and in that way we'll be making it rich, because I always see inclusive leadership, if we're it's a service economy, right?
Hmm.
If you're purchasing products or technologies or whatever, and you have everyone from all the different spheres of life, right, or really, supporting your product, then why not include them in its development, right, and everything. So it starts small in teams and whatever, but I don't think we can really get away with that. I'm more of the thought person. I'm a creative visionary at heart, technically, non-technically, right?
Right.
That's just the calling in my writing and everything I've done. And so I may look this way, right? I obviously have a different background. Um, for most people, being culturally competent because I've lived in multiple places, including the United States, four rather, right?
Right.
So forced to show up like this and make a conscious effort to really just have some understanding and respect for other people's journeys. Because especially if you want their money,
True, but I think it's great just because you can get so many different perspectives, on things because of the different cultures, because of the different backgrounds and journeys and stuff.
yes,
So
yes, those insights and perspectives and problem solving, they are so rich. I can't possibly think that I will actually perceive a problem the same way you do, Laura.
right,
Or you can't, see the problem the same way I do. We will tackle it differently. We'll have different strategies, right? It is strategic. It is so strategic. to have inclusive leadership embodied in your culture. You can't afford to be without it. It's not like, oh, whether you accept this body or that body. The point is that you show respect, you gain so much goodness out of that because everybody shows up with ease. They don't feel as though like, okay, well, they're not accepted, their ideas are not accepted, and they would hold back. They will hold back from you, right? And you wouldn't get the fullness of really why you hired them in the first
Right.
place. You
Right.
won't get the full potential. So who's really losing at that point? Isn't it everyone?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't to do whether you like this culture or whatever it is. Show respect. You show respect, you will always end up on top. Always.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we are in a very technology world now. We're always technology. We got AI coming, everything else. What
Yeah.
role do you see technology playing in enhancing leadership performance and fostering well-being in teams?
Wow, wow. That's beautiful. I mean, being really at the helm of an AI driven company initiative here, I have to say it's providing such an opportunity for enhanced efficiency, right? And how we go about our day to day work, right? Once we do it in an ethical, right? Using an
Mhm.
ethical, responsible thing. Every tool that you get, once you show up and use it responsibly, it's a remarkable outcome. And so I see it's a wonderful opportunity for us to embrace emerging technologies, all the AI, machine learning, and the drones and, and all those exciting breakthrough technologies that we have here. It's the no limit to what we can do. And again, that is an amazing opportunity for inclusion, and that's where Engineering Women mission is really about. It's not just women alone, but when we do bring, the forefront women, we are telling them that it's okay for you to show up and embrace and be exposed to this, so that you can feel competitive in the global talent workforce, right? And now we're not saying, oh, men, of course, men need to up level. Everybody needs to up level, right? But technology is just a wonderful thing. It's just remarkable, the progress that we've made. The dawn of the internet and and now AI is just wow. It's so much to come, and I'm excited about the impact that I can make right in that environment. That you can make in that environment. I love AI tools. I use it. It's not my creative engine. My creative engine is up here.
Exactly. And see, and I love that. And you mentioned a few, I think, key points, and that's responsible, being ethical, because any tool can be used the wrong way. And
Yes.
I'm like you. I'm excited for it. I love AI. I love to see what technology brings, but not
Yes.
everybody embraces that. There's a lot of people that are absolutely terrified
Yeah.
of AI replacing them or replacing their jobs. And I even
Yes.
heard another gentleman say, don't call it artificial intelligence because it's not intelligent. It's what we feed it. It's just another tool
Yes,
to
it is.
use.
Yes, and it can really work off of itself too, with synthetic intelligence and all those things. So yes, it really has to do with you. I always say that no one can say that, oh well, I'm relying on AI. I said, if anything, I taught AI. There's something called Saskia AI.
Okay.
Right? So I feed exactly what I would like AI to say, right? Or to
Mhm.
write, but it's my voice, it's my creation, and those things. You can't take away that. And I'm not feeling threatened, certainly not by AI, because I know exactly my potential. I know exactly what I have to offer in the environment. It's potent, you know. I know I'm
Mhm.
a differentiator in so many ways. So I am not afraid of being washed out. This is a word, or diluted, better word,
Right.
diluted by AI. Definitely not. So we can't allow the technology to control us. We have to control the technology, and in doing that, we need to make sure that we prepare all the young ones. I have a son. I want him to learn these different technologies responsibly. He's like, "Oh, mom, isn't like AI is like cheating?" I was like, "No, not."
Not unless you're having it do your homework.
Use it. You're supposed to use your brain and
Mhm.
answer your work and those things and consult if there is, if there's a need to consult, not dependent on AI. I mean, believe you me, being in the British system and growing up, there was nothing like AI or any consult. It's pretty much you know it or you don't to this point, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember when my sister started, well, my sister homeschools all of her kids, but when
Yeah,
when that came out and she had the A word, and I won't say her name because I forgot to shut her off behind me, but if
uh,
you say her name and stuff, and he'd be asking her how to do his math, how to do his math problems, and she caught him, and she's like, "Yeah, no, you do your own."
yes, that's right. We all had to go through that process. Use your brain cells and figure it out, right?
Yeah, yeah. If
That's
you
all.
don't use them, they get too many cobwebs and dust. You get lazy.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's really what it is. We shouldn't be threatened by that. We are brilliant people. We all have brilliant minds. We all have, oh gosh, so much to give. Our contributions are just, I'm telling you, just priceless. And so
absolutely.
I can see the future. I definitely can, and know that it's a wonderful thing. And for those, particularly those who said, okay, we're going to choose technology and go on this wild ride and, and lead and, and just not have anything limit us. And it's great. It's a great support mechanism. Like I said, everything we're being called to these days is to go faster and those things. How are we going to do that? How are we going to be efficient? There's so many things we're being called as professionals to do, right? So many tasks,
Yeah,
right? How can we really do that with excellence without leveraging certain tools, right? It's not saying not to use your brain, okay? Please
right.
understand. That's not what I'm saying.
And don't rely on it having the exact right answer either, because it doesn't always.
It's not always correct. We all
Depends
know.
on who fed it the information.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
But overall, we definitely it definitely showed a lot of it shows a lot of progress. ChatGPT, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, that's remarkable, right? In terms of what you can get out of there. So yeah, yeah. But I'm not. Just be confident. Be confident in who you are and what you bring to the environment, and be responsible with your AI usage.
Yeah. And I think everything that we've been talking about, really a big key to all of it is mindset. And you
Yeah.
authored Mindset Mastery. So, what key takeaways from that from your book can leaders apply immediately to navigate adversity effectively?
Yeah, and again, that all started with transformation. I did mention in that mindset mastery book of my experience even in high school, where I failed a prime exam, most of my courses, and I was just like, wow, how do we really get from here? Right? So the
Right.
lessons of resilience started there, where there's really no way but out. I felt as though that was the end of my life, literally, when that happened to me, because that was something that an exam where people view as if you didn't make it there, there's really no life for you, that kind of thing. So a lot of pressure from the environment, and I was really forced to rise above and apply those same principles of maybe moving to a different environment, right? Maybe mastery of exam techniques and all those things, right? Like those are an excellent recovery, adaptive mechanisms, right? Because resilience is really about adapt, learn, and grow, right?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
learned from the moment by being in a different environment where I can breathe, get the grace that I need, no judgment, right? And from that, like, did I have other challenges after that in the academia world and personally? Of course I did. But because of that experience that kind of had like a reset, it was a shift, light bulb that went off, that I can actually overcome things, right? I showed
Right.
that I can overcome by excelling next time. Then whatever adversity that comes before me, that will be taken care of. And that's the mindset that, really to survive, not only to survive, but to win. And just be confident in yourself. Show up in self esteem, because the environment or people don't teach you that.
No.
That's something that you have to build within. It's an intentional process, working every day on your self esteem, which is easily taken away by environment. Somebody says something to you, it's like, oh my gosh, you go into a shell. No, 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 no. No, right? So resilient souls are mostly, are burdened from really harsh experiences, right? Whether it's grief,
Right.
uncertainty, emotional like loss, painful loss, all those things. But you choose every day to show up, right? Show up for yourself, show up for the people who are counting on you. That's really resilience.
Yeah. I love that. Saskia, we have about 4 minutes left. So, what would you like to leave everybody with today? And what is in the future for you? What do you see on the horizon?
Wow. I just want to say, Laura, first of all, she's absolutely amazing host.
Thank you.
So tune into her show on Mindful Mondays every time. But besides that, I have to say life is a gift. Use it wisely. And the only way to use it wisely is to rise above the challenges, the adversities, the triumphs, and believe in yourself and not what anyone else thinks about you or says about you. Believe that you can do it. Believe that there's more to life, there's greater life for you. Believe that there's a greater destiny and a calling over your life. That's what I actually had to do to have that shift in mind. And you can do it too. The world needs each and every one of you, every one of you. No one is smaller or bigger than the other.
No.
No one. So that's what, and I encourage everyone to really just check out our book. Just claim your chapter. If you're a resilient woman leader, we're looking for 101 resilient women leaders out there. You have a story. Tell that story and encourage and leave that legacy footprint. The world is waiting on you, regardless of whichever sector you are in or were in. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. It was such a pleasure. I
Yeah,
love I love your resilience, there your mindset. I just everything that you've accomplished. I mean, that is just it's an incredible journey. So thank you for sharing with us.
thank you, thank you. I'm humbled, and it's really a pleasure every day. It's a beautiful life.
It
So
is.
it's an honor to meet and interact with professionals like yourself, and you have remarkable strength. And I thank you for hosting.
Thank you. And so do you. I greatly admire people that are able to come out and share their journey and challenges because there's so many people out there that feel stuck or not sure what to do or haven't found their way. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, anytime. My pleasure.
Yes. So anyone, if you are feeling stuck, you've lost your job, you don't know where to start, connect with Saskia. She's
Saskia.
got Saskia. Sorry, Saskia.
Sorry.
It's been a morning. But
Oh,
anyway, just go to her boostthru.com and connect with her. You'll be able to find her on LinkedIn as well. But just reach out. As you can see, she's very easy to talk to because you don't have to go it alone. So,
absolutely not.
yeah. So,
Thank you.
everybody, have a beautiful day, and we will catch you all next time.
Wonderful.